That's just not going to happen. Eugenio, he gone. All right, so y'all go ahead and let him go. But Nolan Arenado is almost like, if you will, and I say this lightly, he's kind of like he's been compared to Manny Machado at third base. He's been compared to the likes of a Ryan McMahon, Alex Bregman. Like, the dude has that thing at third base where that ball ain't getting by him. Ain't no point in even hitting it over there if you a pull artist and a right-hand batter. Ain't no point. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Nolan Arenado got some of the cleanest one-hand scoops in the league, bruh. Like, my man, I mean, he in his mid-30s, but it's so crazy watching him run to a ball that looks like it's probably going to go somewhere way into left field, but Nolan Arenado like, nah, that ball ain't going nowhere beyond me, homeboy. So I don't even know why y'all even looking over there. This is an interesting because when I was listening to the interviews on the TVs and stuff this morning, the overwhelming majority of the consensus seems to be that Arizona, the Diamondbacks, really needed to cement their defense, and this is going to do that. I'm gonna tell you right now, Nolan Arenado makes that left corner way better. He does. He's a better defensive player than Eugenio, not offensively, but he's definitely going to give you your money's worth with regard to that arm. Nobody in the league, in my opinion, with the exception of maybe rival Manny Machado, can scoop a ball like Nolan Arenado. And I stand by that, and I mean it, and I am not taking that back. So get used to it, guys. You're going to see this dude scoop as many balls. He does not allow his body, his work, his health, even his well-being in terms of like his body necessarily getting hurt. If most Cardinals fans will remember toward the latter half of the season before he finally decided to take the rest of the year off. Remember when Ali Marmol gave him his going away? Hey, he's going away, guys. Even though he still got a week left, he's out. It was like, okay, I guess he's not going to be back next year. Okay, fine. But remember how twice he found himself falling into the stands to catch a ball. One of those times, I believe, was a Shohei Ohtani joint where he was like, nah, yeah. Well, not Shohei. I don't think it was Shohei. It was somebody of note. But yeah, like, you see that one where he was diving for the stands? Yeah, he ended up hurting himself. But they gave him a golden chair. They turned that seat where he fell into it. Darren there sat on somebody's two daughters when they was in the front row over there behind the dugout for the visitors. Danner sat on their kid, and even though the net was there, he was okay though. Made the catch, everything was well. A couple games later, same play, except this time when he landed in the back, he landed on that metal part. You know, if you've been to the ballpark, you know that little metal part right between the seats where sometimes you can put your arm if you got enough room. Like, he fell like right on it and bam, injured. Out, had to take him out the game. Fortunately, it didn't last too long. But yeah, that's the guy you're getting, the guy who rushes to the ball, no matter what distance it is from his glove. He's diving, he's getting in the way of it. He's like, this play right here is, frankly, it's a simple one for him. The one that you want to look for is when you see him run to the ball, take that right hand, pick it up, throw it right to first base. You're going to see a lot of those. Nato also, this is a genuinely cool dude, man. This is a guy who is not always going to, Diamondbacks aren't too flashy anyway, so it was hard to get Nolan Arenado to do this right here. You see what he's doing? Like, he never liked to do it, but you finally get him to do it when he would actually have a really good play and was excited about it. What you're not going to get from Nolan Arenado is a lot of offensive contribution. Now, let's go through the stats again. I already showed y'all this, but let's just kind of look down these numbers. So check it out. I want you to look at 2013. All right. Now, he was only striking out like 72 times, but he didn't really play, as much back then, even though I think it was one of the highest before those plate appearances. But as he progresses, as you see more home runs, you'll see more strikeouts. That's because he's trying harder. But you'll notice that 2015 through 2019 era, that is when he's at his best. Even though you could argue that his strikeouts were at the highest, that's because he's swinging for the fences, folks. That's because he's trying to make sure he get every little last bit of what's going on in that bet. But here's what you really want to take note of. The decline really lies in the home runs. Take a look at that, guys. Y'all see where his home runs are, right? Start at 10 in his rookie year, but then you get to those years where you're getting those average of 40, 41, 37. Yo, those are the Nolan Arenado years that made John Mosey be like, yo, who is this Nolan Arenado dude? I like to holler at him. Keep in mind, these are also the years when we had Yadi Molina. And even in 2022, we actually had the one and only Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina. And you'll notice that he still was over that 30 mark. But something seemed to happen after that year. If you look closely, you'll notice that that Nolan Arenado started slipping. And we know there were some injuries with regard to his leg, hip, stuff like that. But yeah, he definitely started to show decline. Now, I remember in 2023 watching the Cardinals, and they were bad, especially since we were coming right off of losing Pujols and Yachty, who basically had carried the Cardinals for the last 2 decades, right? And then Goldie and Nolan Arenado were essentially dubbed the future of the Cardinals. And so we were looking for him to have better years than he had before. Hopefully even hold the team down. Him, Contreras, and Goldie. But look at these final years, man. After Yachty and them leave, he drops down to 26. And that's not even that bad. I honestly was like, yo, okay, no big deal. Look, he didn't play as many games. It's no big deal. All right, we didn't really make the playoffs. All right, no big deal. We ain't tripping. But then when he dropped down to 16, I was like, all right, man.